Hey guys, how you doing? We are getting started. We're going to talk about Company Men tonight. We're going to talk about a couple of other projects and a few fun things. I am expecting the man called Kimasabi any minute now. He is the creator of the Company Men, but he's in Australia. So things in Australia take time sometimes. You got to be a little patient. That said, great to see you guys. Vinyl Ned, thanks for sharing. You're always out there sharing stuff. Shadowhawk, great to see you. Postman, where you been, buddy? Yo, 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 yo. Well, Postman is back. Postman is ready to have some fun and talk some comics and talk some projects. Here we go. Shadowhawk, yes, pointing out that the Mermaids exists. It does exist. The Mermaids is being remastered. COMICSGATE said to Adam Post, they said, well, not all of it. A lot of it were just like, okay, it's fine. However, people that I love, people that I have strong feelings for, people that I relate to, people who are teen sensations like Billy Tucci himself said, at a post, you know what you could do? You could change the layout. You don't have to make it, 6 panels. You can draw it like this. You can draw it like that. You're doing it live on, live stream. I'm like, Billy, you're right. I can do it, but I don't want to do it. I've done too much work to do it. I can't break up the pages and break up the panels and all that. Can't do all. I'm like, something, it's not that bad. And then Frege comes at me with his Frege love. And he's like, man. So Frege has his own project called The Graves. And I'm talking about Dan Frege, that Frege. The Graves is a really cool project that Dan Frege did. Also, similar to Adam Post in that 6-panel-y grid kind of side, something like a strip panel side. So Frege always likes to say, it's good to see my brother Adam Post out there. He's making the effort. He's going to figure out how are we going to make this work? How are we going to get them panels better? And then Frege sent me an email, and he did some layouts, and Billy did some layouts. Then I was like, you know what? I published a lot of comics, guys. A lot of stuff that's worse than 6-panel pages, okay? With big margins. I don't get no respect. Yes, I am the Roddy Dangerfield of COMICSGATE. So I'm like, hey, why don't I just put the book out? I said, no. And then Chris Renkowitz, who is a really, really talented artist, used to be in my comic book studio like 25 years ago, 1992, all the way back. He's like, Adam, I could do this if you want me to help you with this. If you want my 6-panel pages to look like beautiful storyboarded, amazing work, awesome dynamic layouts, I can make that happen, Adam Post. That is what Chris Renkowitz said to me. So we got into it. And I will tell you something. I was blown away. I've shown the pages to Billy Tucci. He's seen them. He's like, this is great. This is better than I thought it would be. I showed him to Frege. Frege was like, this is looking really cool. He did it like in an email and stuff, but that's how I imagine he would have said it. But we talked about it, and that's what he always seems to say. He likes it. So I like it too. The pages really look dynamic. Should they have been done this way in the first place? Yes, probably. So pat myself on the back for doing it the right way, like the 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 15th time around. That's, all right. Yeah, I did it the right way. Ultimately, you'll see the pages. I'm going to start sending pages and updates out like this kind of week so you get to see what they look like. I'd like to show you what it looks like, but I can't. It wasn't like what tonight was supposed to be about. I love all you guys. I would love for you to see it. But before I put them out, I give it a couple more days. But much thanks to Billy Tucci and also Ethan Van Sciver's tremendous patience with the 6-panel grid. Much appreciated. And he was just like, come on, Adam, you could let's see the top-notch looking. So, yeah, Ethan, too. Tremendous thanks to Ethan and Dan and Billy for really encouraging me. And also, of course, Chris, who's doing this amazing layouts. And I actually did a little of the layout work, too, just like super roughs based on what Chris was doing. And I'll tell you something. Chris is amazing. Chris Renkowitz has got a book coming out soon called The Agent. And, he's got me for life on that. I would help Chris anyway. He's a super talent. You guys probably know Chris Renkowitz by now. Tank Ferret, good to see you, man. How are you doing? Lord Sandwich. I like sandwiches, too. I go through these phases, and you guys tell me in the chat if you go through these phases as well. Every now and then, I go on like a peanut butter thing where I really like peanut butter. I put Kit Kats in peanut butter. I have peanut butter sandwiches. And then I don't touch peanut butter for like, a year or maybe 5 years. I don't know. Time goes really fast. But that's what I've been up to lately. So I see sandwich. It makes me think peanut butter. I don't know. That's how my mind operates. Tank Ferret, always great to see you. Shadowhawk is, I'll tell you what. Thank God for Shadowhawk. Thank God for Shadowhawk. Apex Comics, great to see Apex Comics. As always, it is a pleasure. I know what you're thinking. If you're thinking like me, you're thinking to yourself, is this company man guy going to talk about his book? Well, he doesn't even have to be here to talk about his book. He's got me talking about his book. I will talk about it enthusiastically because I really like the art. I think we should get the numbers up on Company Man. I have some production questions about it because I like to annoy people with production questions. That's the only thing I really know a lot about is production questions because I've screwed up my production so many times. I know how to ask about that. Leg kick. Great to see you. Alex Rogan's Ghost, great to see you. Good to see you happy, my friend. We all love you, brother. Oh, not seeing a link in the DMs. Kimosabi, which means friend, it's in there, man. It's in there. All right, I'm going to resend it. It's very good to see you. All right, hold on a second. Keeping him out of his own show. I won't share the good word with Kimosabi, even though he's so all right, it said it was sent. I sent it maybe to the wrong guy. I don't know. There it is. You see the StreamYard link there, Kimosabi? If not, I'll send it to you in the chat, and we will hear from you in a lovely Australian voice, I'm sure. Everybody loves the Australian voice. You call that a stream? Eric Huffles, good to see you. Eric Huffles, I still think about the G.I. Jackrabbits art that you drew for me. Eric Huffles, thank you for doing that. Not my monkeys. Not my circus. I can't remember that phrase, and I know it's funny as hell. Did he? Okay. So yeah, it's coming. Hey, J Money, what up, J Money? Yo, J Money, what it is. What do you guys think of this Dr. Seuss thing? To me, the Dr. Seuss thing is like one of the scariest, creepiest, weirdest things the SJWs have done yet. I mean, the whole gender thing is very strange, but they're telling me I don't get to decide things about my gender is how I feel about it. But the Dr. Seuss thing is so weird. Dale, you should definitely subscribe to Dale if you don't. Deadwood Dale, he's got a great channel. He does great videos. He was doing something about the Dr. Seuss stories. I was sending him updates to things that I was seeing, like how they are doing weird stuff. eBay is unlisting things. This is for Kimosabi. I'm going to send you the link in the chat. I mean, it's the third time I sent you the link, my brother. So hopefully you can find it. If not, I'm going to sell your book to the tune of millions and billions and trillions and zillions. I will sell your book. But yeah, the Dr. Seuss stuff is so freaking weird. It's so weird. I understand that there's some imagery they don't like, but eBay saying, well, on the basis of other people saying that this is bad imagery, so we're not allowing the book to be sold, but in the meantime, you know that they're selling really, really weird merchandise on eBay. Obviously much worse. Long since been much worse. They just don't want people profiting. It's so weird, man. It's so weird. Tungsten, great to see you. Tungsten, I want to find out more about what you're working on with Narwhal. So let's talk about that sometime when you have time. Let's connect. Yes, Don Tucci. That was my brother, Billy. I love Billy Tucci. I could have hooked up with Billy Tucci and written that rhyme. I've made more mistakes than all of you guys have made combined. But I do try. So most important thing, you got to try so you can screw up just like me. I mean, the link has to be in the description. Show one page says rank a bot. Rank a bot says show one page. Should I show the page? Should I show the page I know that you're talking about of the most amazing pages? I would show the page. It's on the other computer, okay? I've got two computers here. I have information on one computer. I could try to transfer it to the other computer. Maybe I could do that while I'm jibber-jabbering. Maybe not. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm going to knock over my entire laptop if I do that. I guarantee it. I will screw something up way beyond the normal levels of screwing things up. Billy Basco, great to see you, my friend. great to see you. If I'm skipping over people, I don't mean to do that. Jay Lee, always good to see you. Very active on Twitter, too. Jay Lee is good people. Why is Adam gatekeeping Kemosabe? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I sent the link like 3 times. I put the link in did the link not? The link came in the chat, right? There's Adam Post, StreamYard. That's the link, brothers and sisters. So if you're Kemosabe, at least click on there. And if not, I may have to yank some of you other mother cluckers in here just to keep me company and talk about this amazing, interesting looking project. I do like the art. I was reading about the thing a little bit. Let's, see what it's like. Oh, Kemosabe is on the way. He is about to jump in here. I can see you, Kemosabe. I see that you have a beard, so we can get serious. Adam, the gatekeeper. I have no gates to keep. There is no gate being kept. Welcome, Kemosabe.
G'day, everyone. I'm the man called Kemosabe, the man with the plan from the land down under. Adam, thanks for having me on your show.
Wow.
Sorry about that. Everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong.
Problem.
I was here 20 minutes before we were ready to
going.
go. Computer shut down.
Great
phone
to
wouldn't
see you.
work.
Can I ask you a question? Do you have every time I refer to you, do I have to call you Kemosabe? Is
you
there
call me
another name
Kemo or Lee?
Lee. Lee's cool. Lee's a good name. See, we got Jay Lee. We've got Lee, a different Jay Lee.
Yep.
VileNet's smiling. Make sure VileNet is happy. Everybody keep VileNet entertained. Much respect to VileNet. Well, it's great to see you, Lee. You're making this comic. It's called The Company Men, Dead, White, and Blue. It obviously apply on red, white, and blue. So there's death involved. There's men involved. There's some hot-looking chick involved. Honestly, I'm thinking about projects like I like all projects with sexy women in them. Do you not? I mean, they're killing it on some of the crowdfunding campaigns. Particularly, it's a Kickstarter thing, I think, where they just have sexy. It's like sexy women. There's this one they have called Fire Bitch, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know about Fire Bitch. I actually did create a book once called. Well, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but this is the girl I noticed in the middle here. I noticed her in the middle. Lee, so. You're into comics. Is this the first book that you ever are crowdfunding?
Yeah, it's the first one I've ever taken to the stage where it's going to be created and published. I've been writing my own comics for probably 20 years. Like everybody, you grow up reading comics. At some point, you have a go writing some. You have a go drawing some. You realize drawing them's a lot harder than it looks. So you just fall back on the writing and you keep writing them.
Yeah. Eric Huffles is like, Jesus Christ, you guys are both speaking 9 miles a minute. This is going to be a headache. Good point. We could slow this party down a little bit.
I can try.
Slow this down. Well, it's not you. It's I'm ruining it. I'm ruining it for everybody. Again, making more mistakes. You are lacking a cool beard, Adam Post. Adam Post has never had a beard. Adam Post has never had a beard or a mustache. I've had long hair, but never a beard or a mustache. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it could be a stretch goal. Not for the mermaids, for a much more serious project than that. With like a whole planned out thing. We got to work it out. So, Company Men, Dead, White, and Blue. So you've written a lot of comics. Mm-hmm. You're in Australia.
Yep.
Those are the basics. So this is going to be 60 pages, a full color graphic novel. So what's the Company Men about?
Well, the Company Men is a play on the way that the CIA is sometimes referred to as the company, especially overseas. He works for the company. And then there's also the idea of like a salary man in Japan, somebody who's loyal to the company and works every day without complaining, grinding himself away for the betterment of the country. The Japanese plan a lot in advance, 50, 60, 100 years in advance. You might do something this generation that will benefit the company in 100 years, and you won't get the glory for it yourself. And nobody might even know that you benefited the company in that way. You've made that sacrifice. So there's a bit of a duality there. Yes, they work for the company, but at the same time, it's thankless work. It's work that you do behind the scenes. It's a grind that you've got to sacrifice, yourself, your soul, your own well-being, your own mental health, the things that you're willing to do, those horrible things that sometimes you're required to do when you're doing like what works for the government. So there's a few little nods to different things there.
I mean, I like the idea of being a company man. It's not for everybody, but for it used to be that you could work for IBM, years ago, and that you would always have a job. You'd always have like steady income. You could have like the rest of your life to live. And that's one thing you wouldn't have to worry about. Being a company man was a positive thing. as well as could be a negative thing that, yeah, you're limiting yourself, but you're also like going to eat, like you don't have to worry about that. And there'll always be work.
Yeah,
My
father-in-law used to work for the major telecom company in Australia, and he did that for 30, 40 years. And,
company man.
Yep.
So it does have its advantages, no? I mean,
oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm the sort of guy that needs to know where the next paycheck's coming from. I got a cousin, and she's like an aerobics instructor. She just travels the world, and she's in like Baghdad and Turkey and all these places I wouldn't visit without an armed bodyguard. And I'm like, where are you going to be next month? She goes, I don't know. I'll just find a job. Somebody will know somebody who'll know somebody.
I'm not that easygoing about money. I kind of need to know that the money is there. Your beard looks like you don't need your beard. You have a beard, but you don't look like you'd be fine without it. You have nice blue eyes, you have a nice smile. You might sell or lend your beard to me.
I could certainly. I mean, I could give you some.
You'd consider
and it always comes back.
You'd consider it. Yeah, see, that's loyalty. That's a company man right there. All right, back to company man. All right, we're on company man. Company men dead, white and blue, #1. All right, so this is about a group of soldiers. All right, you kind of have it here. Adds the action of Suicide Squad to the intrigue of Homeland and the Shades of Grey body of lies. Think Strike Back with superpowers. Okay, so what does that mean?
Well, it helps if you've seen any of those media. So around about,
I've seen like one or two. I've seen Suicide Squad and Homeland, and I love that guy in it who was in Moriarty. He was the bad. I think it was Moriarty. Well, he was the bad guy in Amadeus. He's in that movie. But anyway, I don't think I've seen Body of Lies or Strike Back.
Well, Body of Lies has got Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe in it. It's very much Leo's a CIA operative, CIA asset over in the Middle East, and it's the sort of thing where he's communicating with Russell Crowe via satellite link up, and Leo's like up to his nuts in dust and death and people shooting at him and goats and AKs and rocket launchers, and he's reporting back to Russell Crowe, who's living in his nice little suburban house with his wife and 3.6 kids, and they're talking over the satellite phone. Russell Crowe's like, I need you to go do this thing. And he's like, bro, if I do that, I will die. They will cut my head off. They will shoot me. They will kill me. Every which way you can think of. And it shows the disparity between the people who send the orders and the people who are on the ground doing that real dirty work. He says, go do this, kill this person, get this information, do this thing. There is no way. It's too hot here politically. There's too much violence, too much action happening here. If I do that, I will stand out, I'll be killed. So is that sort of those shades of gray, those levels of morality. I've described a scene in the book where there's a guy there that's a human trafficker, and you think, okay, he's a human trafficker, that's terrible. We need to just put a bullet in his head and move on. But this guy knows information that you're going to need. Next week, he will know something you need. So you need to keep him alive, and you need to turn a blind eye to the horrible things he's doing, because the people that he traffics is the price you pay for getting that information to save tens, if not hundreds of thousands of lives down the line. So needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
No, or the one. That's Wrath of Khan. Was that Wrath of Khan? No. Search for Spock, I think. Not My Monkey says, I can't keep up. All right.
Do you guys really want me to speak slower?
Yes.
Okay.
But don't stress about it. Don't worry about it.
I don't stress about much.
I violate it much more than you do. So what we're looking at is a CIA vibe.
Yep.
But are they like private CIA?
Yeah. Well, the mercenaries that work freelance, and they've got picked up on contracts with the CIA. So some are long-term, some have been with the company for years and years. Others have just joined on for this mission. Others might have just joined more recently. So there's a bit of a rotating cast. And of course, being a book like this with similarities to something like Suicide Squad, you're going to have high levels of lethality. Not everybody's going to make it through to the end. Now, this is a 60-page book, but it's the first issue of 180 pages that makes up the entire Dead, White, and Blue storyline. So these 3 issues... the next 2 issues is being worked on right now, because 100% of the art's done for this book. It's finished, ready to go, all the black and white. Man. Kelso, my artist, he's working on book 2 right now. Like, I'm getting pages for book 2 come through my email.
Excellent. And it is exciting to see the pages come together. The art looks cool. The coloring looks really nice.
They're both South Americans, both Brazilians. I think there's something about that, who they're colonized by and that sort of thing. There's just something bright, like the Fiesta Mardi Gras. There's something about the colors, South American colorists, just pops. I don't know, just really pulls my eye when I see this stuff. Yeah.
Look, they're doing a nice job. Everything looks solid. and it's dynamic. So these characters that are mercenaries, they have superpowers?
Yep. Yeah, so they're called post-humans. So anything that's beyond human, anything that moves beyond
anything beyond human is a post-human.
Yeah, so it's a catch call for, you got cyborgs, you got people that genetically enhance, you got naturally born mutants, like your X-Men sort of thing, or people who've had some sort of, accident or procedure that's empowered them accidentally. Anything that goes beyond the regular human. So Captain America would be a post-human. Superman would not be. He's an alien.
Daniel Parker, who looks like a very attractive woman, says, can you keep up with Kemosabe, Adam? Do I catch every word? No, but I get the gist. He has beautiful blue eyes. He's got a nice beard, which he might lend to me. It would be great if you had a fake beard. You're like, here, you want to borrow it? And then you put it like under the table. And then I pick up, oh, thanks. And then I put on a fake beard. That'd be funny thing to do. We should
do that, but I should have a fake beard on top of my real beard. So when the beard comes off, because I would never shave this.
You may have to. Well, Daniel Parker, no, I can't keep up with it, but people can't keep up with me either. So we just kind of work it all out. I like the term post-human because I am Adam Post, which,
don't sue me,
beyond human, suprahuman, meta-human. I can dig that. So these characters have different powers. The company men, who do they work for?
So they work under the guidance of the boss, who's the African-American woman that you pointed out earlier. She runs the team. Yeah. She runs the whole thing. She's actually not a post-human. She doesn't have any superhuman abilities. She has a bionic hand that she can attach to her, like she lost a hand in combat. So she's got a bionic hand that she can put on top of that. But because it's not integrated, it's not counted as cybernetics. So she's not technically a post-human. She's just an ex-soldier now doing logistics from behind the scenes with a very fancy prosthetic hand. So she runs the whole team.
Is this art, this cover art, is that by your interior artist?
Yep.
Did a nice job.
Yeah, it's very iconic, solid. I think. Yeah, very happy with that. Solid
first book. You put a lot of time into working with them and just making sure everything looks great.
A lot of money too. I've sunk over 10 grand into this book.
Yeah, don't go berserk with that. Be careful. Because you never know. We always talk about like focus on sequels and things like that. But, you could take it a little slow, get on more shows. Because the thing is the quality of the book is important. But in crowdfunding, I'm learning about this more and more as we go. People have to get the first book and then see how they feel and all that other stuff. So you just want to be careful, but I'm sure you are being careful. Clayton Barton is always doing great work.
That's amazing. Absolutely. I said when him and his brother, because his brother Corey colored that as well. When they figure out how much they're worth, how much they should be charging, I won't be able to afford. That's the Renzo Rodriguez cover right there. That's a variant cover.
Oh, is that Renzo?
Yeah, I love this cover. I mean, they're all good, but I love this one because accidentally he spoke into all their characters with where they're standing. There's like a story within this picture. And I said, did you know what you're doing? He said, no, I was just drawing them. But for me, reading into it, there's something about each character's personality. Boss is up the front because she's the boss. She runs the show. She's the only character that appears in every single company member.
So you didn't tell him?
No, I didn't direct him. He just put them there and somehow managed to create this little narrative. You've got Abbott and Jura on either side of her. They've been the longest running company men. They've both been working with her for the longest period of time. Abbott, the guy with the mohawk, he loves her in like a brotherly way, whereas Jura has romantic feelings for her. Up the back, you got Gates, who's having a cigarette.
I think you have romantic feelings for her. She's a hottie.
She is. Is
she careful of what she does with his fist, though? That looks dangerous.
She doesn't always have it on. She only has it on when she goes.
I might be a little intimidated. I might say, you know what? I'll find a girl who doesn't have a bionic fist. You know what I mean? She looks like she can punch back. That's the problem.
That's what you're worried about.
Renzo's really good. I know he did work on another superhero project recently.
Thomas Valiant?
Yeah. Thomas Valiant. He's got such a great attitude. He's such a nice guy.
He's so positive. He's just grateful for the work. Yeah. He's happy to be working.
Renzo's great people. I gotta try and do something with him.
I've got him lined up to do some more pinups for me. He's just too good not to take advantage of his artwork.
Yeah, you know what? I've fallen into that a little bit of a trap, but if you know what you're doing, like if you know what your production schedule is going to be, it's so great to get a creative team and just keep them working. Eddie Winkler for $5 says, hello all, backer 122. Oh, thank you so much for supporting Company Men.
Thanks, Eddie. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, congrats and good luck with the remainder of the campaign. I feel like he wasn't directing that towards me at all, but no. Thank you for supporting him, Eddie. Eddie is such a great supporter of COMICSGATE and COMICSGATE projects, and he has such a great campaign too. Eddie, when you send those, remind me of Eddie's campaign is a great campaign with werewolves called. Do you know Eddie's campaign?
It's a war party.
No, it's not War Party.
Sovereign
That's
Wolf.
Professor Murph. Sovereign Wolf is exactly right.
There we go.
Just back something with a werewolf in it, okay? Now, he's not looking for that. Eddie is such cool people. But you know what? Who's got the best? I just always like to acknowledge it, that Phil Diaz, as I call him, Los Hermanos Maja Cop, him and his brother, are so good at, like, they'll send a super chat, not to me necessarily, but where I've seen them anywhere and everywhere, sending a super chat saying something related to, like, hey, congratulations on what's going on, or make a point. And then they also say, and don't forget Magic Cop 2 is out there. Like, he just does
That's
it
how you do it?
so smoothly. Oh, yeah, he does it beautifully.
Yeah.
Beautifully.
ABS, always be shilling.
Brian Blevins finally found something nice to say. He says, I love Adam Post. I love Adam Post.
What's not to love?
Brian has money, so the feeling is mutual. So would I do gay stuff with Brian for money? Not for money, but because he has money. I'm not that type of person.
That's a fine line to walk.
Because he has money.
Yeah, thanks, Alex Rogan's Ghost. That was they're actually scanned off the back of an actual G.I. Joe, an old G.I. Joe packet. And then
I'm not supposed to tell people things like that. We're stealing G.I. Joe stuff. You know what? This is something like, did you spend an incredible amount of time developing all these characters and their powers? And
no, I actually consider myself a pretty talented writer, and this stuff comes pretty naturally to me. I don't really have to think about it too much. I don't have to sit down and plot this stuff out. It just, like, all these characters just walk into my head fully formed. We've got their costume, their appearance, their personality, their name. They just walk in when they're needed. They start doing things and I just write it down. It just gets downloaded straight into my head. It's really quite a pure experience. I was out, there's raining, we're out camping, stuck out camping for a week with non-stop torrential rain. I was under a tarp. I had a soggy notepad and an old biro, and I said, right, I've had this idea for, superheroes in the Middle East, because I've been watching all this stuff like Body of Lies and Strike Back and that sort of stuff. So I'm going to give it a go. And I just ended up writing like 100 pages. I just longhand had to go back and type it up and put all the fancy bits and pieces in there. But
so you're inspired.
Yeah, very often. A lot of
great.
this stuff just...
You know what? Not everybody can write stuff out of whole cloth, but a good friend of mine, Kirk Lindo, who sometimes jumps on with me on the channel, he's got another campaign going too. What is it, Vampirotica? It's the Vampirotica Digital Library. But anyways, he really impressed upon me a couple of years ago. He's like, listen, make sure you save notes. Make sure you save notes. Love is a strong word, not for how we feel about each other, Past Master Dan. You know that. Hey, I love Past Master Dan too. I love a lot of you guys. I really do. I appreciate you guys. Not in that way, but if you have money like Brian Blevins, I'll think about it. Brian Blevins, he's, retired and stuff. He's a young man, very successful. Anyways, maybe he's got a sister for me. Brian, if you have a sister, send her my way and give her some money. Yes. So what Kirk taught me was, he's like, listen, make sure when you come up with notes, write those damn things down. You come up with an idea out of nowhere, write it down. Write it down. So ultimately, I really did wind up with a lot of great notes, because otherwise, I don't know if you're like that, but I wind up having to like rethink an idea completely. Yeah,
I had one the other day and I didn't have time to write it down. I lost it. And I know the vague outline. I could condense it down to a single a Western slash revenge movie, but the specifics in there about the husband and the wife and the hired hand and the gang and that sort of stuff. And I couldn't bring it back. I didn't have time to, what I do is I've got a video about this on my channel about my writing process. And of course, your mileage may vary. It might not work for you, but I start trying to condense the germ of an idea, sensation when the idea first hits, that feeling of being in that world. I write a little elevator pitch, a little blurb to myself so I can come back to it later and expand upon it. I didn't have time to write ideas down about this I've just been playing Red Dead Redemption 2, so it was very, very realistic sort of.
So I'm going to harass you out of curiosity, and just so people can get maybe some depth on the project. Icebreaker jumps out to me as a pretty cool looking dude. He's got a gun. He's pointing it. Maybe he does stuff with snow. So tell me about Icebreaker. What does this guy do? This is Icebreaker, the guy who's pointing with flourish.
Yeah. First of all, he hates being called Icebreaker. He gets really mad if anybody uses his code name. So he just goes by his surname, which is Dura, like the artist. And he's an operator, so he's ex-military. He was doing a mission up in the Arctic, and he got plunged into the icy water of the Arctic, and his body temperature dropped really, really low to deathly levels, and he was in a coma. They pulled him out. They said, look, it costs us hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to train these black ops guys. Not my monkeys, not my circus. This is just how I talk, brother. This is how I talk all the time, whether I'm doing backroom Discord chats or whether I'm up here in public. So they said it costs millions of dollars to train these guys. We can't afford to let this guy die. If you've got any sort of crazy procedure that might bring his body temperature up and bring him back to life, give it a go. They bring his body temperature up, but they can't bring it all the way up. And they find that since that point, he constantly exudes this field of freezing cold energy. They refer to him as essentially a walking ice age without an inhibitor device implanted in his body to reduce to absorb the energy and help him rechannel it. A bit like Cyclops' optic blast that would always come out every time he opens his eyes without the ruby visor. Jura would constantly exude this field of cold that would just snap freeze everything in an instant around him for miles around. So he'd be a huge danger. But they found once they're able to implant this inhibitor device inside of him, he could then take that stored energy and channel it through his ice ray and use it to shoot and kill and that sort of thing. But he can with a very deliberate and concentrated effort, push that ice field very, very slowly in a particular direction if he wants to, and that's what we're seeing here. So this guy here, this is Reverend Kagosi, Tuma Kagosi. He's a genocidal dictator who runs the nation of Burundi.
I have some more questions about Snowboy.
All right.
So he was he a mercenary or so? He was a special soldier or a special agent before he fell into the ice. Okay, fell into the ice. The way he got the powers was. Did he have just a predilection towards it? Like
that's saying it's open for debate. Did he have if you're going to call it like an X gene like the X-Men, did he have like a dormant gene that was able to mutate and respond to those freezing cold? Or was it the procedure they used to bring his body back out of that freezing cold that allowed part of it to retain within him? That's something that they can't scientifically prove. And I don't know, because to me that doesn't matter yet. When it matters, I'll know.
All right.
That's my attitude with a lot of
why
stuff.
Doesn't he like being called Icebreaker?
He thinks it's a lame name.
Really? I like it.
He doesn't like it. I couldn't tell you why. So
he doesn't get to pick his own code name?
No.
Doesn't seem fair.
It doesn't, does it? Maybe that's why he doesn't like it so much. Maybe if he had picked it, maybe if they're giving him some options and he said, oh, Icebreaker, that's cool, I'll give that a go. But when they said, no, mate, you are
Icebreaker, Snowboy, the
Stone
Icicle.
Cold Steve Austin, no, that's already been used.
Stone Cold, is his name
Captain
Steve?
Colt, no, hold on. Ice Smith, no. No.
Freezy
McChill. Freezy McChill is what I should have gone with. It's not too late. It's not. I can go back and I can change the card. Freezy McChill. It can happen. It's a thing.
I like Freezy.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down. This is one of those things. Well, there's a fire girl I'm kind of working on. So
okay.
I'm thinking about the fire girl. So all right, that's the snow guy. So all right, so you've thought about these characters. They run around, they do stuff, they fight with each other. Some of them are friends, and they go on missions.
Yeah. Well, what happens is after this, I call this the James Bond opening. Jura jumps down, he assassinates this guy, and if you go down a bit, if you don't mind, just show the scene where the guy's actually killed.
I like that.
Jura freezes him. This should be the 4th page. This next one.
All right.
Yep, and he just shatters. You can see the stump of his hand. You can see his intestines out the side. Like this dude just gets frozen. His blood expands in his veins. His flesh splits, and he just shatters all across the stage. Everyone runs screaming. Sajira's killed the world leader, and he talks about how they're going to install a puppet government, have a bloodless coup, this sort of thing. But it's not his job. His job is just to kill. Boss gets him on the earpiece there and says, "Hey, I've got a problem in Nigeria. I need you to get over there ASAP." And you realize this is just this guy's 9 a.m. appointment. This is just his first thing for the day. This isn't even his whole day. He's got other stuff to do. So he heads over Nigeria. When he's in Nigeria, he gets told there's an imminent terrorist attack. It's going to happen. We know who. We don't know when. We don't know where. But it's happening. It's going to be so big, it's going to draw America into yet another war. America's already fighting a war on several fronts in the Middle East. They can't afford another one. So it's imperative that these guys stop this terrorist attack from going down. Otherwise, America's going to have to invest more blood, more money, more soldiers' lives in a war, and nobody wants that. However, as they investigate this claim, the more they investigate it, the more red herrings they come across, the more the government pushes back on them and says, you're wasting your time. We've got other stuff we need you to do. This is a dead end. And eventually they push into it so far that when they can't prove that the terrorist attack is going to happen, it actually looks like they're the ones who have been setting the whole thing up. If you think about it, everywhere they've gone to try and find informants and try and stop this from happening, they've been seen. And then when there's a pattern that proves that there's going to be a terrorist attack, they go back and look at the footage. These guys have been at every one of those locations. They're like, well, you guys are the terrorists. You're triple agents. You've been setting up this whole thing this whole time and getting paid for it. So they end up getting framed for the very attack that they're trying to stop from happening. The government burns them and says, all right, you're out. You don't work for us anymore. In fact, check the records. We just expunged it. You've never worked for us. You've been rogue agents causing every kill you've done. You were just in Burundi killing Reverend Tuma Kagosi. How could you? You're a murderer. The very missions they sent him to do, they're now blaming on him. So these guys are out in the cold. They've got no government support. They've got no money, no funding, no resources. It's just them, the clothes on their back. And not all of these guys get on. Like some of them are very mercenary. Some are only there temporarily for a short contract. But because they've all been put under this umbrella of you're terrorists, you're bad guys, they have to pull together and sort of lean into that, what little brotherhood and camaraderie they've got. They've got to actually draw together and become a real, because, in terms of combat, they're a well-oiled machine, but they don't always get along. But by the end of it, they're going to have to get along and rely on one another and find that brotherhood, or they're going to die.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to make friends fast. All right, so you've definitely thought a lot about the story. The characters seem cool. I like the ice guy, and I like that girl. She's pretty cute. I like Renzo's art a lot, too. Renzo and Clayton, great guys. All right, let's talk some perk action, some hot perk action.
Yeah, righto. Sounds good. Perk on perk. That's my favorite.
Perk on perk. Deluxe cover edition. I always like looking at the featured perks. $50 Australian is $38 US, which is very reasonable, not a pricey perk.
So that's 80 pages. So you get the 60 story pages. When I say 60-page book, it's 60 story pages from woe to go. You're going to, of course, have credit page, thank you page, some pinups and stuff on the other side, but you get 60 cast iron story pages. So you get that, plus you get an extra 20 pages of all the other cool stuff I couldn't fit in there, all the character concepts, all my original sketches. Then you see Kelso's upgraded versions where he's made my designs even better. You get script pages, you get breakdowns, you get pinups. I got like a dozen pinups ready to go. You get sneak peeks into the future company men projects. Abbott, the big guy with the mohawk, I've already got his solo story scripted. And like Renzo's put his hand up for this, said, man, when you do the Abbott story, get me on board. I really want to draw that. So,
Renzo's so freaking amazing.
Prodigious.
What is Renzo working on right now as we speak? And don't tell me you don't know. I know you know.
I'm pretty sure it's Thomas Valiant. I'm pretty sure I don't think the outfit that's 100% done that I've heard. I think he's still wrapping that up.
Oh, okay. So that you weren't very evasive about that.
I try not to be. I try to be pretty honest.
Thought you might be sneaky. What kind of work do you do? Can you talk about your work that you do in your life, other than this, like in your normal life?
Yeah, I'm dad.
You're a dad?
Yep.
And that's basically a paying gig, more or less.
Well, yeah, there was an ad here in Australia about guide dogs, and they said to people to job interview come in and said, would you do the job that has to do all these things? They listed all these crazy things you have to do for the job, and they said, and you don't get paid anything, you get paid in love. And people said, there's no way I'd do that job. But of course, the thing was, that's what guide dogs do, and they only get paid in love. Same thing, I get paid in love.
You get paid in love.
Mm. And my wife funded the comic for me, so there's that. I mean,
she's amazing.
If you're going to put a dollar value on it, yes, she is. She said, "Look, you're home with the kids. We've got the COVID. Someone's got to work. I wasn't able to keep working because of circumstances." She said, "All right, well, I'll go back to work." She earns more than I do anyway, and she said, "Well, while we're doing this, why don't you take some of the extra money we've got and make that comic you've been wanting to make for so long?" I said, "Yeah, righto, cool."
Wow, that's fantastic.
She said.
Past Master Dan, we will not be repeating that last part.
You just go back and watch me on 0.5 speed. That's,
0.5 speed. You will see exactly what he's talking about. Otherwise, of course, there's no understanding what he's talking about. Listen,
it's the accent.
This is a fast-talking gentleman, all right? He knows what he wants to say. He's saying it. He's saying it at incredibly fast speeds. Basically, we're exceeding the speed of light. But he's a good guy, and you can see the work is really good work. And it's interesting. And the only way to truly understand what is in Lee's head is to back his project, which you will get because his wife financed all of it. It's all paid for already.
It's all done.
So it's not like he can't get it. You've already met your flexible goal, You've met your flexible goal. So you've paid for everything. You know how you're going to print it. You know the Barton brothers, and I'm sure you know Rob Arnold and stuff. So you know how to get stuff printed and shipped and all that other stuff, right? You're very
absolutely
familiar with all the fulfillment.
All the Australian shipping is going to be free. I'm doing free Aussie shipping, aside from the triple pack because it's just so big I can't afford to not do the free shipping on that. But everything else, if you get a physical tier in Australia, you get free shipping. But US shipping is being handled by RJ from Critical Blast. So what I'm doing is I'm bulk shipping all the books to him.
All right. Critical Blast is a really great guy.
Yeah, he's absolute legend, and he's redistributing the books for me from his warehouse. And if you have when you guys jump on the campaign and have a look. That might be spare room. I don't know, but he's got a space where he stores the books, and he's shipping it for me. Yeah, and he's got this model set up. He's got a spreadsheet. He got my my postcode, plugged it in, found out exactly how much it would cost to the cent. He said it'll cost you X dollars and 2 cents to send every book of this size. Like he knew right down to the cent how much it would cost. So I said, yeah, let's do that. I mean, if you have a look on the campaign in your own leisure when you get on there, guys, you're going to be paying.
Is he like doing you a favor, or is this a fulfillment?
No, this is his business model.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize he was like doing this as a business.
Yeah, well, I'm essentially his client. I'm paying him to distribute them for me, and you're paying less than or up to less than half what you're used to paying for a book from overseas or from Australia. So if you backed other Aussie books and you paid whatever you paid, you're paying sort of up to half of that. To get my book. So there's going to be a lot of savings there. I'm trying to make sure this book can get into people's hands because this is the first of 3 issues. I want you guys to read this, go, hey, that was cool. That was an amazing 10+ page superhero battle right at the end of the book. 2 super teams fighting each other, tearing each other's heads off, throwing cars at each other, cutting each other in half with huge blocks of concrete, teleporting rebar into each other's faces, stuff like that. I definitely want to come back for the next one. So I want to make sure you guys get the chance to actually see this book because the biggest detriment to getting comics made is money, and the biggest detriment to getting funded is not being seen. You got to get eyes on. You got to be seen. So that's why I'm trying to make sure this.
It's true, and that even when people back it, honestly, we back these things and support these things. Sometimes we don't even fully read them. Sometimes we just flip through them. But it looks like you're putting together a nice looking package. No pun intended. I thought I had to say that. I have no idea why, but. No pun intended. I don't think there's any pun in there anyway.
I don't know.
But look, you're really passionate about doing this book. You don't talk this fast about everything, do you? Like in a normal conversation, you'd be. By the way, I don't mean to attack you about this either.
I think it's a bit like Liam being orange and everybody making fun of Bancroft for not being able to draw hands. If you got something.
Liam is orange. He's a very orange man.
He is, Mr. Krabs. If you can find something that you can poke, somebody can find something to poke fun at your persona. That's money. That's fun. Like people always saying, "Oh, don't."
I don't think it's making. It's not. It's maybe just an observation.
Well, Australia's a whole nation of shit talk because like they very much always sledging on each other, always giving each other a hard time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
It's tall poppy syndrome. If you put your head up, it's going to get cut off. Like there's a real, especially the media and the government, they've got a real.
I think it has to do with the speed of you talking. Yeah. You've talked so fast that now my monkeys is actually younger than when the stream started.
He's gaining back that time. That's a good trick. I wish I could.
I don't think I fully understand what you're saying there with that comment. Yeah. Okay, here. He said it here earlier, but we even without seeing this comment, we knew what you were talking about. That's brilliant. That's really good. It's just one that work back to 9. No, it's true.
People always bring it up, and it's good.
That's really great. That's really great
because it makes you memorable. They go, that guy that speaks really fast. Yeah, Company Man. Yeah, I know that book. You want to be seen. You want to be known. You want to be noticed. I'm not going to complain if people have something they can have a chuckle at, and it makes me memorable in their minds, and then that's a better chance for them to have.
No, you can't complain. Look, you can complain if you want. You can throw, weapons if you want. You don't have to take this crap from anybody. Not from anybody. Not when you have a book called The Company Men, Dead, White, and Blue, #1. All right, well, we looked at the first tier. We started to look at the first tier. It's the deluxe edition Barton cover, which I assume refers to both Bartons, Los Hermanos Barton. Yep. And I am going to, because Chris Renkowitz told me to, and he's the one doing the art, and he's comfortable with it. I will show a couple of he said show 1 Mermaids page. I'll probably show 2. But that's what I was doing when my camera was off, trying to kind of coordinate it. I think I've got it coordinated. We're going to focus on you, and then we'll show the pages. We'll show the 6 panels, and then we'll show the dynamic, beautiful layout by a master artiste, Chris Renkowitz, the genius. Okay, so this is the featured tier, the deluxe edition Barton cover, $50 in crazy Australian money, $38 in good old-fashioned USD. So this is just one copy of the deluxe edition of the Barton cover. Is that right?
Plus a digital version. Every physical copy comes with a digital, because why not?
Plus a digital version. I agree with you about that. And that reminds me that I want to send digital versions out for stuff I've done. That's a good point. That's a really good point. In fact, we all ought to think about that. The one thing with a digital version is, if you're going to send a digital version, it's good to wait a little while until people get the physical and then send the digital, because the presentation of it, ideally they get to see the physical before or at the same time, but before they see the digital. But certainly a couple of weeks after you send a physical out, there's no reason we can't send our digitals out. Now, is the shipping free, like you were saying earlier, if it's in the US?
Free for Australia and low for the US. So like I said,
low for the US. Okay.
RJ's come up with numbers that are about roughly half what you expect to pay. Some people say they're paying less than half what they pay on shipping normally from overseas. So I think that's a real victory.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, good for RJ for doing that. And John Malin is also doing fulfillment. He's been doing it. He doesn't talk about it much, not that I hear. So I like to bring it up every now and then, because everybody knows that John has done so much fulfillment. And under John Malin's Twitter, he has a breakdown and a link to how he does it. But basically, he just says, listen, if you're going to charge $10 for domestic U.S. shipping, he says, just charge that. And that's what I'm going to charge you for doing it. There really isn't much profit in it, but I don't know. I assume he just keeps the wheels turning, and it keeps people employed, keeps the system in place, which is good. It's just a great resource that other people can help other people with fulfillment, especially for our friends that are not in the same country as us, you know?
And if we could get someone doing the same thing in the UK, someone doing it in Europe, somebody doing it in Australia. That
would be nice. Oh, no, please. Not my monkeys. It doesn't come off as disrespectful. It's said with love and fun and stuff like that. I'm not really in love with Brent Blevins, for example. Well, I don't. We have to see how things work out. Anyway, let me leave that one alone. But anyways, no, man, it's all good, guys. And, we're all having fun here. We're all having fun here. It's one of the things that, if you listen to like Howard Stern, everybody busts everybody's chops, and that's how we should be looking at these live streams. It's just fun to joke around, and it's not something to ever take personally. And like when you guys are making fun of Ethan being fat or something like that in the chat, or you guys have made fun of me being old or whatever. It's funny. It's all good. And it's whatever gives everybody a good time.
I think you can also tell from people's temperament when they come on. If there's somebody like me, I feel fairly confident speaking.
You're
to people.
Cool. Like you'll
say what you want. It's all good.
No, if anybody's able to piss you off, they'll know when they've pissed you off. And I don't want to see that ever happen. You seem like, forget it. You will destroy them. But don't even think about that. We can just think about happy things, such as the digital issue, which is very inexpensive, only $12 US,
60 pages.
Australian. What do you guys call an Australian dollar? Is it the Australian dollar? Dollar? Seriously?
No, it's off The Simpsons, but it's so good everybody uses it now.
It's like didgeridoo. I know what that is. That's a musical instrument, isn't it?
It is. It is fantastic. Fantastic, unique sound.
What do you guys?
Just Australian dollars.
Okay, just Australian dollars. That's cool.
$10,
yeah,
$10.
Not like the loonie or something like that. That's
no.
Canadian, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking Canadians. I love Canadians, but that is a little absurd. All right, so 60 pages, full color, DRM free, which means you can copy it and send it around, right? No digital rights management.
Why bother? It's so much work. It's so much hassle. It's going to make people not like you. Couldn't be bothered. If you got to sign it every time you read my book. It's kind of easy
to do the digital. My friend Kirk showed me how to do the digital rights thing. It's pretty easy, but people like to know DRM free. Basically, it sounds like you're not going to give them a virus. So, and you've already sold 10 of those, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good for digital.
In the video I set up the top there, I said, look, if you think my Aussie accent makes me sound dodgy, if you're not willing to invest some of your hard-earned money into my book, just get the digital. Because once you see the digital,
I'm sure dodgy around here. We like dodgy. We think dodgy's good. Mr. Yanafui, have fun. Send memes. Mr. Yanafui makes crazy videos. He hasn't put me in anywhere. Louis says, you're not old, Adam. You're marginalized. I'm not the margin guy anymore. Wait till you see these pages. Just wait till you see these pages. It's gonna be like, what happened? What did we do to this guy? Like when Edwin Boyette used to play with his long hair and be like, and then War Campaign told him, made fun of his hair, and then he got a really short haircut. This is kind of like that, except they would not cut my hair for War Campaign. Well, maybe I would. If they really wanted me to, I would. If Adam is old, does that mean I'm old too? No, you're not old. You're not old. We're not old. As long as we still like looking at young girls, we're not old. And by young, I mean 19 plus. See? Gutter man. Yes. Gutters, the margins in comics are referred to as gutters, but they are also referred to as margins. So I may have to have a throwdown fight with Shane Davis about that because he called them gutters. And he's right that they're gutters, but that they're not gutters to the exclusion of margins. You can Google this. There's information on it. Per Comics Journal, which is older than all of us put together. Issue 1, back to the tiers. Issue 1, physical plus digital included, only $23 USD, and it ships worldwide. Very reasonably priced. Looks cool. 60 pages. I want to see this succeed. Well, it's already succeeded, but I'd like to see it succeed even more, which it is. People are backing it. They're checking it out. We got Eddie Winkler tonight. Eddie Winkler, again, thank you for being so supportive of this campaign, of me, but also of everything you're doing for COMICSGATE. It's not unnoticed. All you guys, Tank Ferret, Shadowhawk, Eric Huffles, Violet, Tungstein is an amazing supporter of COMICSGATE. Don't ever feel like your contribution, like your one little thing like that you do, like you back this or you retweet that. Don't ever think it's not important to diminish it. You guys are amazing. So without you guys, we couldn't really be doing this whatsoever.
There'd be no COMICSGATE.
Have you seen how big my margins are? Do you think I could do this without you guys? They won't accept this out in the real world. They don't accept that. Only in COMICSGATE will they have patience for everyone to find their way to greatness. So that is our pitch for issue 1, the physical and digital. Moving right along. If you've got $71 US, here's the way you can spend it. You'll get a 3-pack plus digital DRM free.
Yeah, and that's got all 3 covers. So you got the Clayton covers. You got the Renzo Rodriguez cover. Now that Renzo cover was a secret perk cover, so anybody who signed up for the campaign ahead of time got a secret link to that Renzo Rodriguez cover. So the only other way to get it now is to get it in the 3-pack. You can't get it on a sign. It was like a little back pat to the people who were brave enough to give me their email address. And it's a surprise, like out of the amount of people that signed up and the amount of people that have backed books, I think there's quite a lot of people who signed up that went on to back that particular cover. So I feel like it motivated a lot of people.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, the special signups are great. I like to listen to John Malin. It's like he goes up on a mountain and he says this. And what John Malin said about the email list is, from now on, he shall not goeth forth to do exclusive trading cards in that such way with signups. However, what he shall doeth is offer a discount to inspire a purchase on a larger tier item, something like $150 tier for like 125 or roughly. I'm not quoting it exactly because I'm not remembering exactly, but something like that. So just interesting to notice. It's interesting that it worked for you. Renzo's great. Renzo's cover's great. And if you missed the opportunity to get the cover of the past, this is a great opportunity to get that Renzo cover as part of a 3-pack. I love multiple covers. I'm addicted to doing multiple covers. I'm always going to do multiple covers. I can't help it. Now, you're also offering original art pages. Yep. Are these NFT originals or are they physical originals?
They are physical. They're the real deal. Kelso works in ink and paper, so that's what you're getting. You're getting an actual page, and because it's a 60-page book, I can give you the good pages. Like not this, sometimes there's pages where people are just standing and talking. You need a bit of exposition to get you to the next scene. You're making sure you're getting the action pages. There's pages of people dying, people getting blown up.
Cool, very cool. And Shadowhawk, who's just so on top of things, is reminding us that the Johnny Phantasm action figure campaign is ending tonight. If you haven't backed Johnny Phantasm, the action figure, I'm pretty sure I did. I have to go double check that I did. I'm on Patch. I'm retweeting it and constantly supporting it. But sometimes you forget when you talk about a campaign so much, like if you backed it or not.
That's true.
Yeah, it's very funny. Mr. Yanafui says, he's old. His videos are part of his middle-age crisis, trying to be cool. Oh, it works. You're cool. You're cool. Hammer of Doom says, "Yeah, people from Australia always sound like convicts."
Well,
Okay.
most
He
of us
says that
were.
with-
Most of us are descended from convicts.
Yeah, that's the whole country was from
It's
convicts.
pretty rare. I mean, after the convicts, there was a bunch of settlers came with them, and there's even more settlers came every generation, and the convicts stopped being transported maybe 100 years after they started. But
look
it's
at this
rare.
nice statement. Never mind about history. Nine Rebels Comics says Company Men is going to be fantastic. I like to use that word fantastic a lot lately, too. I can't say why, but it really seems to work for me. I agree. I think this is going to be fantastic. I think you're always going to talk quickly, which I think is also really great. But I think it's going to be fantastic. I think if you want to offer original art pages, like I like this page a lot. This one with Icebreaker with his reaching hand, Snowman, not Snowman, but Icebreaker. So will they be able to choose the page they want, or you're going to have to choose it?
I was just going to pick a good, cool action page, something, make sure that you're getting something that looks good.
Here's a suggestion from Guy from Red Bank. I'm just making it up. I'm attributing it to him because it's really from me. Maybe just show 2 or 3 different pages, pick whatever price you want it to be, and see if somebody selects those pages. Because what people, like I sold, I'm not an artist, obviously. And I was able to be on the art auction channel, Ethan Van Sciver's channel, rather, when he did an art auction. And I have a couple of pieces of original art. And one I was just showing, like, I think I might offer this piece of art. And then people, like, somebody bid on it. So, like, Guy from Red Bank is like, yeah, that's totally what he said. See what I mean? Thanks, Guy from Red Bank, backing me up. Anyway, so I sell the original art, but I think people really do like to look at the piece. I mean, that's just my suggestion, so they know, that this isn't just the one really cool piece, and then who knows which page they're going to get. But anyway, you'll see. Traditional character art, your artist is willing to do art as well.
Yep.
Only 154 US. Oh,
any character you want.
Who's that for the page? Any character we want.
Yeah, whether it's your own character, like an original character, or somebody that exists, or somebody from the book, whatever you want. And
you know what everybody's thinking? Can it be some sexy girl?
He'd love to draw a sexy girl. He complained there wasn't enough sexy girls in the book. He said,
he's right.
He's adding hookers and strippers to every scene because there just wasn't enough pretty girls in it.
I love this guy.
I'm not even kidding. He sent me an email, said, look, they go into a bar and hassle this dude. Can there be strippers in the bar? I'm like, yeah.
Is he fast? He looks like he's fast too.
He's really fast. He'll knock out like 5 pages like this in a week.
Not bad.
And I know some people say a page a day. That's great, but he's just doing this in his spare time.
A page a day is depending on the work, the style, the artist, and whatnot. A page a day is good, especially with having another job.
And he does pencils and inks.
Excellent. All right, original cover art, $1,000. Yeah, it's nice art. I really do like this Renzo piece. He's great. Renzo's great. We love Renzo.
Yeah.
All right. Now you will help judge as well. So, guys, everybody support the Company Men, Dead, White, and Blue. I know we already got the support of the beautiful and talented and should we say like Wolfman obsessed Eddie Winkler. But look, we will take everyone, whether you care about Wolfmen, Wolf women or not. We will take your support and we will appreciate it. It is very appreciated.
Early back the deluxe edition. So thanks for that, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you for supporting this book. You can see it's done carefully. And basically, it's thank you for doing that, Tungsten. That's really cool of you. So it's like Tungsten really back you up. You're going to be, let's just put it this way. If you're COMICSGATE, you're going to be shipping to Singapore. If you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying. So that said, let's move on to this interesting experiment. This, if you can see it, is a 6-panel page from The Mermaids, like Game of Thrones with mermaids. What is the story of the mermaids? I will tell you quickly what the story of the mermaids is. See, I can talk fast too. Not as fast as you, though. The story of the mermaids is a naive teacher joins a team of rebels determined to overthrow and kill a powerful mermaid queen. That is the story of the mermaids. Now, the mermaids is something I worked on years ago, back when I wasn't publishing comics for, I don't know, I took at least 5 years off. if you ever keep track of what I say, like I can't remember exactly what it was, but I hadn't been doing comics for a while. And then a friend of mine was like, you should get back into doing comics. He's a comics editor, a friend for a long time. I was like, well, I don't know, whatever. He's like, well, what ideas do you have? I was like, well, I kind of was thinking of doing Game of Thrones with mermaids would be kind of cool. So I like what Game of Thrones was. I was working on a mermaid series. I never like ideas for a mermaid character and series. I did some work on that, but that wasn't this. That was more like Splash, the movie Splash with Daryl Hannah. And it was like a teenager character. And I wasn't publishing really. It was something I thought maybe I would do for film and TV. Not like I had such great contacts, but I had little contacts. So long and short was I stopped on that, but I picked that back up. I was like, well, I like what Game of Thrones is aesthetically. I like the whole royal setting. I like what all that is. But would be cool to add a fantasy element to make them mermaids. What if we did that? And then I got a lot of encouragement, so I started working on that. So this is the first page of that script. All right, so this is what that looked like. Now, I'd gotten a reasonable amount of heat about the 6-panel per page margins and the margins on the College of the Dead book. So eventually, as I was saying earlier, I decided to say, okay, with the help of Chris Renkowitz, we did some changes and some layouts to make them more dynamic. Now, Chris Renkowitz, he has done comic art. He's done animation. He's done trailers for video games, writing, development. He sold pitches. Like he's way above, the normal realm of people doing normal comics production art, and that he's done a lot of professional high-end like animation effects work, like all sorts of fancy stuff. But Chris and I know each other from back in the day. And Chris is like, no, we're going to make this happen. So Chris took this 6-panel page and he turned it into this. I don't know if you can see what that looks like. Bing, bang, boom. So a lot more dynamic than it was. So chat, that is what Chris Renkowitz has been doing for me. And we're about halfway through the book. It's really coming out amazing. I mean, it's very dynamic. It's all full bleed. And I really love what he's been doing. And it's gotten me kind of, re-excited for the project all over again. And it's a COMICSGATE thing where it's like, because we talk directly to fans and fans get to say like, well, I like this, but I would like that better. That's what happens. We change this stuff up. So what do you think, Lee? Do you think that the dynamic version is much better?
Yeah, I think it's a huge improvement, mate. I mean, even just the removal of those big margins / gutters makes
margins / gutters. Yeah. I know.
It gives you that feeling of being submerged because there's no white borders anymore. The whole thing is underwater. The whole thing is blue. It makes you feel surrounded by it. It's excellent.
Bleed. Are these margins small enough? Are these margins small enough, I ask? I think they're small enough. What do you think, Mr. Yanafui? Like, how much smaller could they be? It's full bleed now.
And a good margin's a dead margin.
That's all right. I'm going to admit these are big margins, but the book was like a strip. It was supposed to be like a comic strip. That's why it has gigantic margins. That's why it had gigantic. It's a fight I'm never going to win. So I just finally said, okay, it's going to mean something to somebody, even if it was that they got me to do it. And the thing is it's got to be like spiritually, it's got to be the right thing to do because it's just got me this close contact with Chris Renkowitz, and the guy is an amazing guy. He's a super talent, and him and I both live on Long Island and stuff. We're both about the same age. We have stories from back in the day from my comic book studio and stuff. I'm going to show a second page because I'm pretty psyched with it. This is like wizardry what he did with this page. This is like unheard of, crazy genius what he did with this page. So you see this 6-panel page. What is going on this 6-panel page? I'm not going to have a conniption. I'm just excited. That's all. What do you say, Tungsten? From being a fish tank to being in the sea. Listen to that. It's like from being in a fish tank to being in the sea. The sea. What do you guys think? So Tungsten, that's a plus. Tungsten says, way better, Adam. Way better. Way better. I had promised people I was going to put this book out. So the book had to come out. You can't say you're going to do something and then not do it. Unless you have a very good reason. And maybe I could have said, well, I'm not going to do this, but look at, it's a good job on Chris Rankowitz. It's Chris Rankowitz. Chris Rankowitz is the super artist. Now, I did get to contribute to some of the layouts as I was able to. Yeah, thank you for your support, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the comments. Frega liked it. Billy liked it. And, I knew, like, all right, yeah, this is it. It's good stuff. What he did with this page, though, is freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. Check this out. I'm going to show you this real quick. What did he do? Where is that page? This is like unbelievable what he did. And the guy he's a real talent. I'm going to be talking about his book, The Agent, forever when it comes out. So we go from those gutters to this.
That's night and day, brother. That is
crazy.
That is so good.
Isn't that crazy?
That
that's the change.
Yeah.
That's the change. It's full bleed. It's full bleed now.
Some full bleed makes it look so sophisticated, like some sort of European comic or something.
I'm telling you. You know what I was surprised to see too? Like, there's a lot of there are some very minor art effects. The vapors is like the vapors. Yeah, some very minor artifacts. Like there's some blurring, there's some duplication of fish, there's some tiny background elements that Chris is adding. Very, very little new drawing. Very little new drawing. If any. Like, because I'm looking at the layers now in Photoshop. I finally learned how to open Photoshop over this. It was pretty good. Atom Post will not be marginalized. No longer shall I be marginalized. I'm going to be like the full bleed Atom Post. I'm going to change my name on Twitter to something like that. Just to show off. Just to show off. You'll need an oxygen tank when you read the Mermaids. Yes, you will need. Wait till you guys see what my new project's going to be after this, because it's not going to be anything near 6 panel pages. It's going to be pretty exciting. But yeah. This I'm very happy with how it came out. Chris is fantastic, and we're scheduled to ship. Originally, I scheduled to ship in April. We should be able to maintain that date, even though we're remastering the whole thing. Yeah, Adam can learn new things. It was a lot of work for me. Oh, there you go. He was waiting on the coloring book. Yeah, Billy, I'm going to have to do that coloring book sometime. Billy, we're remastering this book. I promise you, we're doing it. So when I want to ship this on time, and I don't want to break Chris's schedule. We don't want to compromise on any of the quality. So we got to get this out. But then after that, we can start looking at coloring book. Because Billy has always been encouraging me to do coloring book. But yeah, Photoshop, the thing is it's pretty good, but it's not super easy for people that have never used it. So what I needed to do was I needed to figure out how to turn on and off the lettering. It's not like I was doing edits in there or anything like that, but basically with a little bit of help from my friends, I was able to figure out how to basically open it up and at least turn lettering on, turn lettering off. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. And I'm pretty psyched that we got this done and the pages are looking good and it's going to look cool. And there's a lot of really cool stuff. Oh, all right. Apex is going to support us too. Push Adam too hard. We may break him. No, I'm unbreakable. I'm unbreakable. I can absorb all sorts of energy. So these pages, I probably ought to get these pages on the campaign update soon. I just wanted to kind of talk about it with Chris a little bit. And I also, I don't know. I was either going to announce it in a live stream. I want to let the backers know what they're actually getting, because there are people, more than 100 backers that supported the campaign very generously. So I want to make sure, that they know what the book's going to actually look like. That was one of the reasons for not changing it. It's almost like when you put up an auction or when you have one of these campaign listings, one of these items, you don't change the description once you have people that have bought it. It's kind of, because
you can't on Indiegogo. I originally that Clayton Barton cover was originally going to be a 48-hour limited offer.
This page is so drastically different. What he did with this is like one of the first ones we did. It was kind of like, how are we not going to make this panel a bigger panel when the girl's getting her arm bit off by a shark? We have to do that. So we did it, and we'll see, because I'm going to probably do a bunch more streams showing more pages. But yeah, I was kind of like a little reluctant because of that too. But I'm glad everybody likes it. no one's going to say, hey, why can't we have gigantic margins? So I appreciate that. So that is the Mermaids, guys, and appreciate all your support. And Lee, it's been great talking to you about the company, men. You are like, making your comic. You're fully funded. You're damn serious about it. This is the company, men, Dead, White, and Blue. If you guys can support it, it's very appreciated. If you can only even just share it on Twitter and just let people know to check out the campaign. The company, men, looks like a cool project. The art is cool. To me, I really love the Renzo cover. I like the Clayton Barton cover, especially too. It's very cool looking. You seem very passionate about this, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of other great things to come for you. Once you ship this first book, the whole world starts to open up about what you could do next. Just what my best advice would be, not to assume anything and to be a little careful and slow about what you're doing and to try to get on as many channels as possible. You have your own channel too. What's your YouTube channel?
Well, there was the man called Kemosabe, but YouTube nuked me for reviewing a book about this. So this Muslim bloke wrote a book about a Muslim superhero fighting other Muslims. I reviewed it and I got banned. My whole channel, no strikes, no warnings, nothing,
wow.
just instantly nuked. But the trailer for this comic is still up on YouTube. So you can watch the trailer about the comic. You can look at the comic. You can see the violence in the comic. But I talk about it and I got banned. So I come back. I made another channel called Kemosabe Returns, a bit like Batman Returns, but with less sculpted abs. My abs are all my own abs.
Nice.
So I do CG and indie comic book reviews. I'm not trying to dunk on the SJWs. I'm just trying to say, here's a book. Here's what's good. Here's what's bad. Here's what I would have done differently. And just because I like literary themes, I like all that sort of stuff. The 3-act structure, story structure. Yeah. So I try to talk about it in those terms.
Guys, it's not fair and it's not right, but we're living in a world where they're starting to ban Dr. Seuss. There's certain subjects we just can't talk about until things turn around. I don't know what we can do about it, but we got to be, we just got to be cautious. It's funny, but we got to be responsible, not even responsible, but basically we have to do terrible things and listen to what people are saying. I like this idea from Tungsten. Adam should sell the big margin edition as a limited edition now. Can you believe you're buying it even with those giant margins? They just love Adam Post. I mean, the art is still good. The story is still good. But yeah, it's not as dynamic when it has those big, crazy margins. This is the problem with being too clever by half, as the expression goes. Basically, stop being so clever, Adam. I think that's the answer. Rubber nipples is a stretch goal. Yes, that will be a stretch goal. Well, guys, we're going to do another stream again soon. I'll get Lee back for another fast talking session if he's available. We had a lot of fun tonight. All right. And thank you for supporting Company Men. Thank you guys for giving me your honest feedback. And you'll tell me if it sucks on Mermaids, you would tell me. But I honestly, when he sent me this first page, I'm like, nah, that doesn't suck. That's
a winner. This
is when people are like, why didn't you just do this in the first place? How many more books you would have sold if the art would have looked like this? And you're like, well, that's not how it always works. That's not how it works. You can't always do things right the first time. I certainly can't. So that I will do it right as a last resort. That is my plan. I will always do things right as a last resort. Try to keep all my promises. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for all your support of the company, man. Thank you for your support of the Mermaids up until now and the feedback. And look, I'd love to sell a lot more Mermaids books, but I really want to get the project done and get it in people's hands and get Chris what he needs so we can finish these beautiful, beautiful pages. Chris, if you're listening, thanks again, brother. Appreciate you. Guys, I appreciate all you, Eric, Shadowhawk. You guys are the best. I will see you again soon with another stream or a video. And if I don't see you, I'm absolutely going to miss you. Have a great night, guys. Take care.